good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today we're going to be talking about the huge update to AUM by Kymatica. That's right. So grab your ankles, girls. Let's do it. We can all get some sleep. Oh, we laughed. Hi, I'm Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're all doing okay. What's happening? Everyone doing good? Thanks, Leela, for, did she dump me or not? Who knows? It's like the lotto if I get dumped or not from Leela. We'll never know. I never know because I had to close the show before the end. Who knows? Hey, what's going on? I need more sleep. Ed, Hugh, Matthias, you were dumped. Lucky you. Thomas, Hugh, paying to get, Jim, Shanine O'Twire. What am I saying? Leela, there she is. She's getting coffee. What's going on? Sean Chandler, hello. Hello. Look, big day coming up today. I'm not going to lie. No community pulse today. Frank Terzo. If you don't know Frank Terzo, what the hell are you bloody doing? He's awesome. And normally every week, a few hours after this show, what is it, 7:15 Eastern US time, he normally does a show called The Community Pulse where he sits there, no shit, for 3 hours and reads out every song that's been made for the entire week. And I tell you what, it's a lot every week. And normally interviews somebody, but this week, something a little bit different because we lost our dear friend, Kurt Kasperick. Just happened, yeah? And there he is. Look at him. I'm going to zoom in on him. There he is right there. There is the man himself. And today we're going to honor Kurt today, and a whole bunch of fantastic musicians are going to give their time to hang out, and we're going to file in one by one and play some tunes for you all. And we're going to remember Kurt, and we're going to do our best to raise some money for our dear friend Justine, who's been left behind. And we're here to help do our best as a community to pick up those pieces, because that's what we do. And that's why I'm here every fucking day, because you guys, right? And it's an honor to be able to get up here every day and live stream to however many people. It's an absolute honor. And I just want to remind you all of that. Thank you. Thank you, because it's New Year's Eve here in Australia. It's the last day of the year, a tumultuous, crazy, sometimes let me get off this boat kind of year, but at the same time, lots of good things too. We've got to try and remember those things. Yeah, we've got to hold on to that and think about the good things as well, because if you just wallow in the pit of misery loves company, yeah? And because there are always good things that happen. Unlike yesterday for me, I went and got my blood tests because I'm trying to get on medical marijuana and found out that things aren't going so good for me health-wise. And my liver's failing. Yay. So let's do that. Here's to liver failure. And I've been put on, so some stuff. Anyway, we can change it. I've been put on cholesterol pills, and Jesus Christ. And my doctor says, did you stop walking? And did you stop your diet? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And she's like, well, you better get back to it, bitch. So there's that. Hey, but you know, I hope I get that marijuana. Anyway, all good. It's reversible, man. No, Gladys is not cancelled. We'll talk about Gladys. So, yeah, Gladys, look, it's not a thing. Listen, doctors, man, they love to make you panic, right? And I went, oh, that sounds scary. And then she said, just check in with me in 3 months' time. And then you hear that and go, 3 months? Can't be that bad. 3 months, you say? That's a long time. Anyway, all good. Things are, she said, I've only got pre-diabetes. Good stuff. I love it. See, got to stay positive, man. You can change these things. Things are never as bad as what you think. But it is New Year's Eve here, and this is probably the last time I'm going to get to see you guys on my channel live until the new year. So I hope you all are able to ring in the new year, especially those of you in Australia, because it's happening tonight for us. So I'm in a new house, and I'm kind of very excited because, yeah, my vitamin D is horrible, all that stuff. There's 9 pages, Thomas, of it. It's horrible stuff. But where I used to live, New Year's Eve was horrible because the illegal fireworks and stuff. I'm in a much nicer area now, so I'm hoping the hoons aren't going to be out tonight doing burnouts and donuts and fireworks going off everywhere. I'm hoping for a more peaceful night tonight. But yes, all right, we'll cover this again quickly. Gladys is performing. Gladys has not cancelled. She is raring to go. She's hungry. She's going to eat a lot of cool stuff. And so this is happening on your New Year's Day. Yes, your New Year's Day in the UK and the US at this time on New Year's Day, your time. It'll be the second for me when I put Gladys in the chair and let her do her thing. Now, folks, I've had a few people leave some questions. Just remember, the show is nothing if there's no questions, because that's what Gladys does. She answers your questions. She's a qualified therapist somewhere in the world, but we need your questions, and there is a link to do so, and I'm going to bang it in the chat for if you're watching this. Let me find it. There it is. Send your burning questions. So anything you want, just send a stupid question to Gladys. This is what the form looks like. There's the link there. I don't want to, she doesn't want too much information, just a YouTube handle if you want, your gender, and your question, and give permission for Gladys to air your question. There it is. That's the simple form. It's very easy to do. Say whatever you want. I really don't care. Anything. Just send something. So Gladys has something to work with, please. All right? Because if you don't, that means she's going to have to eat stuff, and the menu looks bad. The menu looks really bad. And, yeah, anyway, what are we here for today? We're here to talk about AUM. And I will, during the ad break today, we'll talk about the show more on Frank's channel. So we're here to talk about AUM now. I recently did a show on AUM and the show was called I Love AUM, and I really do love this app. You'll see the price tag there. It's $20.99. Every now and again it comes down in price. I think it was on sale during Black Friday. It hasn't hit the Christmas sales, unfortunately, but $20.99, there is something just absolutely worth the asking price. I know myself, I can tell you from my experience, when I first saw AUM, I was like, oh, wow, $20. Yeah, that's a lot to invest in something I have no idea how to use, and it looks complicated. And yeah, and I finally bit the bullet during, I think it was in the early first year of this show. I'd only just downloaded it during the early days of doing How to App on iOS. And wow, it just, the term game changer gets used a lot. Now I'm sounding like a typical YouTuber. But there's something about AUM that is genuinely a game changer, because it's like no other music creation tool anywhere. There's nothing like it on PC. There's nothing like it on Mac. But on iOS, we have this thing called AUM. And not only is it great for what I do here, showing you how to use things, how to use apps, it's a great scratch pad to make music. And what's really cool is the developer, Jonathan, has left it open for so long for interpretation to be whatever you want it to be, that many app developers like 4Pockets have created apps to get more use out of it, to do more things. So the community has made it something else without breaking the code or like having to hack it or anything like that. Just by adding apps to it, You can make it bigger, larger, make it like a door. If you want it to be a door, have piano rolls, do all these things. But essentially, it's just a big playground to make stuff. And I can't live without it. It's one of those apps that I just open every day at least, just to make something quick and easy. And there's a whole bunch of stuff I could make with all the projects I have saved in AUM, I could probably make about 12 albums of just little demos of stuff and I'll prove that to you. So there it is. It's $20.99. It's had a swath of updates. We're going to go through as many of them as I can today. And let's bounce over here to AUM. And, when you first look at it, it's quite an ugly app. No offense, Jonathan, but that's the beauty of it, yeah? Sometimes the ugly things do amazing things. You don't need to be flashy. We live in a world where people are like, ooh, that looks nice, and it's eye-catching, and people go for design and all that kind of stuff, but that's not always the case. Sometimes the best-looking things are super, bland and look like nothing on the outside, but when you dig deep, it's the functionality of it that is really, really important. You are not too dense for AUM. Trust me, Tremor Bear. You are absolutely not too dense for AUM. And in 2025, I would love to see you stop talking negative about yourself. Can we do that? I'll love it. You are not too dense at all. You make music and you do it in a door, and this is pretty much just a door with a different look. So please, you know what I mean? Right. Now, what I was talking about before, about having all these projects, this is your gateway over here, this little hamburger icon. You click this, here's where you get to stuff, yeah? So you've got your files, and in here, now remember, this thing, it's imperative, I believe, that you have AudioShare with this. Another fantastic app. AudioShare is like your first thing you need to download, purchase on iOS. And it actually ties in with AUM. It works with it. So it's kind of essential to have it. G'day, Pete Johns and Irby. What's going on? So it kind of is essential to have this. Now, these are my sessions. Look at all these. These are all the things I've made since doing How to App on iOS. These are all projects for individual shows that I've done. Every one of these. I can go way back here. You can see Radio Noise, Yale D, when I covered that app. Guitar Jam, Anxiety, what's in here? Anxiety Opener. These are where I do my gigs as well. So if I'm doing a gig, I'll click this, and here's all the tracks that I'm going to be singing to for that day. Right? So you can see down here, you've got Things Have Changed, The Bleeding, Spineless. This is how I do my live performances. I just load up all the tracks into this. It's so much more than just a music creation thing. It's a playlist to do a set of music. This is just individual tracks. You can see here, if I go over here, this is Pete Johns' track. Whoa, 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 whoa. And some metal. Let me solo it. So then I can just sing to this. You don't see this in my live performances, but this is my go-to for live stuff. And then I want to do my next song. I just unsolo and solo the next track I'm going to sing. Boom. And you've got the option to add effects to it. So in the little node underneath this, where you can add effects to it. So this is what I use to get that guitar sound that I hear so many people say they like my big reverby acoustic guitar sound. This is what I use. This is the app I use for it, and it's very simple. Each time, look, I can do it for you right now, live in front of you. G'day, Brad. Click on an audio track, bang. I can choose the guitar input, which is Mini Fuse number 2, so that's what the guitar would go in. The 3 apps that I use are Medusa, bang, so there's the first one. Then I'm going to use Black Hole. There we go, Black Hole. And I'm going to use Altether. This is how fast it takes me to set up my wonderful guitar sound each and every day. Go into Medusa, change this to a split stereo. This is just a compressor. Go into Black Hole, turn these down a little bit, and L tether, turn this down and this one up. If I plug my guitar in there, which I don't have, it's over here. I'm just going to prove a point here. That's how quick I set that up. That's what I'm going to do today when I perform. Boom. Plugged in. So you can see how invaluable AUM is to me, right? To get that sound every time. Look how quick it was. And it sounds like that every single time. It's beautiful. And you can save that setting if you want to go to it. It's beautiful stuff, right? It's just a great app. I've done full tutorials on this app. I've done updates when there are. I want to delete this and clean it, go away, and just hit remove channel, confirm, all gone. There we go. So let's talk about the updates that are in AUM because there's a lot of them, right? Let's look at the laundry list. It's pretty big. We'll come over here for a moment. And here is the laundry list. Boom. Look at that. So we've got clock dividing, which I just love. Plug-in window modes. Look beautiful as well too. Swiping edges screen. There's a new navigator in there, and this navigator is just exactly what it needed. Here's the deal too, what I love about these updates. Jonathan doesn't go over the top. He just doesn't go over the top. He just adds a bunch of things that just make a small difference, and that small difference is enough. There's nothing worse when I think Apple are like the kings of under giving updates. You expect a lot all the time because it's Apple, and then they always underwhelm you a little bit. With Jonathan, I just think he gets the right mix of stuff. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just enough to make things a little bit nicer, yeah? That's my thing, and I'm sticking to it. Hello. Who have I missed? Mark Bro. We've got Panda Cat, g'day. And remember, Pete Johns is coming up after this. Also, back over here to AUM. Let's talk about updates. What have we got? So the first thing I'm going to show you is if I load an AUV3 in here, let's just load in, I'm going to change this to last used. If I load in something like Axon 3, we've loaded in Axon 3, and I decide to delete this. So normally you would just swipe with your finger to move it away to swipe, and then hit this to eject. You're going to get this now, a pop-up that says eject node, always, okay, or cancel. And here is where you kind of can have the option to say okay and say yep, and this pop-up box will now appear for every single node. So if you say okay, you're going to continue to get this pop-up. If you say cancel, well, it's not going to remove it. Now, if I hit always, it's going to make sure this never happens again. It's going to alter the settings. But we're going to hit OK for now. Great. So it's removed it. Let's bring it back, put it in there again. Where do I... Now, let's have a look at the settings first. So we'll go over here to our side. Settings are over here. If we scroll to the bottom, there's these new settings. Confirm eject. So now if I turn this off, click it off, and now swipe, hit the eject button, we don't get a warning. Let's bring it back. Just want to prove a point. And if we come back here to settings and turn this back on, and then do confirm eject. So if we close, go to get rid of it, confirm and hit always. And now we come back over to our settings. It has been turned off. Nice. So that is a quick way to turn it off because you may have updated now to AUM and all of a sudden you're getting this confirm to eject. Why is it good to have the confirm to eject? I'm sure there's been many times, folks, when you've accidentally removed something and gone, fuck, no, I didn't delete it. What's the... And you're very upset. It's a pain in the ass, yeah? It is a total pain in the ass. So that's there for you to do that if you so desire to save you from screwing up. So that's a nice little addition there. Here's something that I like too. Let's use Axon 3 again. Now, if I load this up and come in here, and I'm going to choose let's choose a factory preset, like this institutionalized, and hit play. Now just say something goes wrong with the app because iOS, you know what I'm saying? Because things go wrong and it may get stuck on a note and then you may not be able to find the Midi kill and all that kind of stuff. Well, there's a solution now. You can come out here, hold down on any node and hit reload. Hit reload, it's going to refresh the actual full thing there. And when you come back in here, all your settings are still exactly the same. Yeah, all exactly the same. Look at that. So prove it again. We go to factory, choose a different preset, hit play. And if I hold down and hit reload, it's going to reload it and keep on playing. I know, you're probably going, but that's really small. That means shit. But very, very handy, especially if you're doing a live performance and you're on stage and you've got an iPad in front of you and something crashes like that, just to be able to flick that, hold down for a second, reload it, and everything just continues. That is just really, really clever thinking, and I love it. So there's that. Let's talk about the sizing, because this has been asked for a long time. Let's open this up. So normally when you open up any app that you've installed, this is the size that you would get. I can stop this now. This is the size you would get. This is the standard default size. It doesn't show the whole thing, but what's great about AUM is the resizing abilities. You can move these around, resize however you want. Some of them will shape well, like this one's, at least everything's still in there. But what's great about it is you might have multiple instances of this. So you can, have lots of these all open together and have a readout of everything. That's what makes AUM really special, to be able to change the size of these and have an overall look. And if I close this now, it disappears here. So if I, just to show you, we'll open something else. What do we open? We'll open like a solder box. And we'll just choose a preset here. Something generative. So the beautiful thing about being able to resize these like this and open this, again, you can see you can have multiple things open and create a palette for yourself to work from for live performance, stuff like I do on the weekend, and at a glance have all this stuff. So let's close these. If you double tap anywhere on this bar, it will normally go full screen or back to what you had your last setting. Well, things have changed. Let's just remove that. Things have now changed with this. So we now have this little extra box here, and you can click on this and you've got these new things. So you've got default, and this will bring back the size to the default. So the next time you close it and then open it, it will be at the default. Hit the square again up here, and you've got custom, which is currently what, as soon as you move as soon as you drag anything around here, like so, and come back up here, you'll see custom now has a tick next to it because you've changed it yourself. You've customized it. We also have maximized. And when we click this, it maximizes now to the full, not the full screen, but almost. And you can see we've got this new darker color up the top here, which makes it blend in a lot more. Really, really dig this. I'm not one for full screen. I know a lot of people want full screen, but we can do full screen as well. So if you come over here, you've got full screen and we tick this, look at that. Now we have total full screen if that's what you want. So it looks like what you would see if you were using it as a standalone. Fantastic. The first thing I was like, how do we get out of full screen? Does anyone know? Well, let's show you. It's pretty easy to get out of full screen. Take your finger top left-hand corner and just pull like so. Just pull down like this. And you can see that. And it goes back to the almost full screen. So if we come over here, go full screen again, just pull down and you're good to go. Really, really simple. Yeah, it'd probably take a few people to work out, but I mean, this is the thing with iOS over the last few years. Probably 3 or 4 years ago, that would have been second nature, but now here we are with iPads on with fucking keyboards and mouses and stuff. So some of that original iOS flavor of being so tactile and all that has started to disappear. And I know people like Jacob Hack have made videos on this about the sadness of losing some of that, what made iPad really special in the beginning. And now having mouses and keyboards makes it more of a desktop experience. But I guess that's why Apple refused to change and give us Mac OS, because they still want to hold on to that iOS experience. G'day, Felcro. Excuse me. All right, let me bring you back over here. So these are the new sizes. Full screen looks great too. The other thing with full screen that's really, really nice is swiping from the right. And a lot of people may not realize this, but you can also swipe from the right too. So take your finger over here and swipe. And what's that? What's that? Swipe away. Let's do it again. Swipey, swipey. Yeah, look at that. We have a new feature over here that we'll talk about in a second. But before we do that, you can also swipe up now and bring the keyboard up very easily and just hide it. So that's a nice one. Just a quick swipe and your keyboard comes up from the bottom. Really, really cool. Just nice and easy, and hide it away. So that's when you're in full screen. But over here is where the fun bit is. This is the navigator. And boy, is the navigator really, really sweet. Now, it doesn't look anything special right now, but we're going to try and open a big project. Let's swipe down, get back into full screen, well, semi-full screen, I'm going to call it. Let's try and open a big project, see if I can find one in here. We've got, I think this Revolve one had a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff in here. So we got a WAV file and a bunch of things opening up. Now, there's a couple of ways to get to the navigator. Yes, we'll wait for all this to load. This is quite a big project. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Boom. Okay, we're good. So here's our project. Now, many of you will know we have this little squiggly bit up the top here, the snake I like to call it, and this gives you your MIDI routing at a glance. So, and I know for a lot of people, you may be looking at this going, whoa, what is going on? But it's quite easy. Top to right shows you what MIDI is connected. So you've got a built-in keyboard is connected to scaler at the moment. You can see piano motifs, which is a MIDI controller. MIDI output is sending notes to piano tech. You can see this scaler is sending notes down out to pure synth. Helium is sending stuff to Cinematics. So the snake is great, yeah? I love the snake. It's just a great way. And you can go in here. This isn't just like to look at. You can come in here and add more things, right? So you can do all your routing in here. And it's great. It's a really good option to have. If things aren't working, you need to find out, hey, why is this not connecting here? This is a great overview to see what's going on. Well, next to this now is this little square, and this is Le Navigator. And you've got 3 tabs up the top here. So the first one is channels, and this just shows you all the channels we've got. So you can see what's going on here. We've got a mini fuse, got a hammerhead, Cinematics. I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, maybe I'm a little bit, it won't work there. Cinematics, Pure Synth, Piano Tech, mini fuse, and MIDI 1. So this is showing all your MIDI stuff as well. Or we can click the next tab and get all of the plugins in each channel. So that is cool. So you can see this first one. This is our MIDI channel, has piano motif, scaler, helium, but it's not just to look at. Right? It's nice to look at, and you can drop these, you can close them, open them up. What's also cool is you can click on them and open them up at a glance. Yeah? And close them from here. So that's really handy just to open them up. Open a bunch of things from here and you've got little X's there to close them as well and get rid of them. So nice little, just a nice feature that makes things a lot easier at a glance. Because again, like Trevor Bear said, I'm not smart enough to do this, which he completely is. Sometimes AUM looks a little bit overwhelming, even though, because it doesn't look like a regular door. That is the thing. Also, the third tab gives you everything. So you can see everything that's going on. And you can see in this one here, it's a mini fuse with a revolve and the actual connection. And again, you can click on any of these. So this has a waveform in it. And I can click on that and get the options. So straight away, like get the options, which you would have to do over here, yeah? Just really, really nice to have all of this at a glance. And again, like I said, if you got any of these open in full screen, so if I come up here, full screen, swipe, and there's that little bar. So if you don't want to break full screen, you can come in and get to that. So it's just a great idea. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Swipe away with your finger. So you've got that option too. You can just at any time bring this in. So not only when you're in full screen, you can just swipe and bring that in at any time, which again, most people aren't going to realize the swiping capabilities. And same with the keyboard. Is it the same with the keyboard outside? No. So that's good. We can still like close our app from here too. But really, really cool. Just yoink, and we're in there like that. What else do we have? I'm trying to remember. We've got our show plugin. So we've got some snapping as well. Let's talk about that while we're here. In our settings, come down to settings, scroll to the bottom, and we have some grid snapping too. So if we turn on grid snapping, and this ain't going to be for everyone. If we open this up, drag this around, you can actually snap this to a grid, so it's not going to lose its place. So there's that. I really haven't looked at that too much. I don't really care. What a great tutorial that is. Who cares? I don't care about that. You can add reset help hints. What else have we got? Let me just before I get into the big stuff. Let's talk about this one. Now, this is Pete Johns is probably going to love this one. Pete Johns is going to love this one. Let's come in here, add a new track, and come down here. So this is where you would add your instrument or your sample or your loop. So the big circle up here is where you add your instrument. And down here, these are effect nodes. And you can add as many of these as you pretty much want, yeah? You can just add heaps of them. Well, in the past, when you go to audio unit extensions, you could scroll and find whatever you want. You've got multiple ways. Remember, you can come up here and choose by company, name, or last used. I always use last used because normally I'd like to grab the things that I'm using. But if you go to company now, so these are all organized by the manufacturer of each app. And if I start scrolling down, the Apple free AUV3s that originally began in GarageBand are now available in AUM. Now, many people may be thinking, why? But, hey, they're there, and why not? So you can, and you're going to see these are quite familiar. There's the old GarageBand AUV3 delay. You can go full screen with it if you want to eat your heart out. Drag these up. So there's your Apple sounds. Swipe down. And they're all here. All of the GarageBand ones are in here now. So there they all are. You've got sound isolation. So that's really handy to grab that one. If you've got if you don't have Clevgrand's thingy. The Apple sound isolation app is available from here as well to change the wet dry mix. So all of the GarageBand AUV3s are in here for you to mess around with, and you may use it a lot. They are pretty solid, and that is another good point. These are really low. So just say, for example, you've got a massive project open in AUM and your DSP, your resources are getting sucked off. You know what I mean? Whoops. You may want to just pull in a delay, one of these, because they're super low. They're not going to take a lot of memory. You might want to, grab this quick parametric EQ. There you go. You got a parametric EQ. Good to go. Ready to go. Happy days. Right? So it's nice to have options. That is the most important thing, to have options and do that kind of stuff. Another little thing here. I might go in here and say, you know what, let's close this project. I don't want to do this. And I clear it and then go, oh, no, I wanted to do stuff with that. Why did I clear that? Well, a couple of updates ago, AUM offered this last state. So you can just click on that and it'll bring up the last state that you had open. It's like a fail safe. There's a lot of, a lot of really nifty little things in here that just, oh man, they take away that feeling when you do something and you feel like you've just lost an entire day's worth of work, and that burning sensation comes up from your neck and your face. You feel it going bright red and you feel yourself burning up going, what have I done? Well, the last state saves that. Trust me, many times has it saved my bacon. But something else that's new here, and this has been available in Logic and I think GarageBand for a very, very long time. If I clear this out of here now and close out of this, now if I hold down on the AUM button, you'll get the option to open a bunch of your AUM projects, which you can click on, and look at this. You've got access to a whole bunch of them from here, and you can open from last state. From there, boof, boff, bish, boom. So this is something that Apple introduced into the GarageBand and Logic ecosystem a long, long time ago. And I don't know if anybody uses it, but it's there. And we're at our halfway point, folks, of the show where I run an ad. And you'll get served it for a second. So let me come over here. Let's do that. So I just do this. Who cares why I do it? Let's just do it. You can avoid the ad by becoming a YouTube Premium subscriber or by skipping the ad, and we'll wait for you to come back. In the meantime, today, what is going on? And hopefully, Thomas, I don't even need to say anything. Thomas is awesome. We all know Thomas. He's just a god. So Frank Terzo is hosting this show today. Let me bring up the actual thingy live. Here we go. So this is happening today, the community pulse in love and support for our dear friends Kurt and Justine. We lost Kurt yesterday, and a whole bunch of us are going to get up and perform, and it's going to be a cavalcade of YouTube Z-grade celebrities getting up there and just saying goodbye with music, yeah? So hopefully you can come and join us. It's happening shortly after Pete Johns, who's after me. And yeah, come along and join us, please. And if you haven't donated, there's a link there. It would be greatly appreciated. Make me smile. You know what I'm saying? All right. Z minus in your case. Well, you know what I think about putting yourself down? Don't do it. It pisses me off. Anyway. So, even if it's for a joke. Naughty, naughty. Let's come back over here. All right. What else am I going to do with this? So, what is this? Let's play this. What is this thing? Ooh. Hey. It's not too bad. All right, what I want to show you with this is, so you can actually record your tracks in here as well too. This has been a thing that's, been around on AUM forever. And it's super easy to do. What I first want to do is just do some routing here. And I want to show you how to route stuff. So basically the music that's being played there is only these two tracks. So you can see everything else in this project is all muted. except for these two tracks. So I want to actually record these two tracks individually, but I'd also like to record them as one file. So you come over here, create a brand new audio track up here. And what I'm going to do is instead of put anything in here, I'm going to come over to this section, mix bus, and I'm going to pick receive from bus A, which turns this into a receiver. So this is now waiting for other tracks to send audio into this track here. So now I can come over here down the bottom, and down the bottom here of each track, it's saying that it's playing through my audio interface. So I can actually come here and send this out to mix bus A. So now this is being sent to this track. And I can do the same with this as well. Let's click on this and send out to mix A. So now when I hit play, I'm still able to control the audio of these, but it's coming through here. So this is the power of AUM. It's just fantastic. But I want to record all three of these tracks so I can import them into Logic. Now in the past, when we add effects to these tracks, we get an audio tail, like a reverb tail. And this is a great example here because I have Revolve on here. And this has a lot of reverb tail going on both of these tracks. So when you stop recording, it would stop and cut off that tail. And that sucks. We don't want that. So there's been a fix, and hello, Rich GT, g'day. There's been a fix for this, and it's really, really cool. So to arm and record, it's very simple. Down the bottom here on each of these tracks, there's a little R button. Click, and you'll see it pops up with a little record. And we want to do that for this one as well too. So now all three tracks are ready to be recorded. And all I got to do to start recording is click up here, the record, and hit play, and we're off. Here's the catch. When you would hit stop, when you would hit the record up here to stop, this is where it cuts off the tail. But what AUM now has, instead of hitting stop on this record, you hit pause, and it will pause the mix, but it will allow the tail to continue. Let me show you. So we're now recording. You can see this is spinning here. These are spinning down here, letting us know that we're recording. And our third track is recording. Now I'm going to hit pause. And you'll notice when I hit pause, it keeps recording. Just watch. So the tail is still ringing out. And now I can stop the recording and hit the record button. So how do we get to these files? See, if I just had have hit the record button there to stop, it would have cut off that wonderful tail. So now we can get, this is why I said in the beginning, you need AudioShare, man. AudioShare is the app that communicates with this. So when you save files, come over here and go to your recordings. There is Revolve Demo. It's made a folder. And there are the three files. So now if I want to go over to AudioShare, these have been saved in AudioShare. I can click down here. Can I do it from here? It opens AudioShare, and these are the three files. That's the full mix. This is just the drums. And this one is just cinematics. And now you can just load those into Logic, Cubase, whatever you want, and it's all in time. What's fantastic about this too is it gives you the BPM. You know what BPM to set this. It's in the file. It does all the work for you. It's just beautiful. And there's those beautiful tails at the end. You're not going to lose any of that. A great little feature there that I know people have been pissed off about for ages. There you go. Lovely stuff. And the last one I'm really going to focus on today, which is just my favorite. This is fantastic. Let's start a project from scratch, and then I will be dumping you over to Pete. This I love. let's come over here and we'll create a Midi channel. So when you create a Midi channel, every app that you can load in here doesn't make sound. This is just for Midi processors. This generates Midi notes, and you can send these Midi notes into audio channels. So you can see the difference between the two channels. This is a Midi channel. It has no volume slider. It's just made to send Midi notes where you want them to go. And here's where you would load an instrument. So let's, for example, load up something that makes notes. Let's do something really simple. Let me choose. What do I want to choose? You know, we'll just do a bud, something really simple. Maybe a, what are we going to do? Super simple. Let's just do this. Let's go up here. Bud and melody bud. Super easy, yeah? And I'm going to introduce 3 different instruments. So just a piano. We've picked pure piano. Why not? I hardly ever pick pure piano anymore. It's always piano tech. We'll choose something. We'll just change this to last used. Let's pick Solder Box, and which will be a demo up tomorrow. And we'll choose something else, just FM Zone. Cool. There we go. So now we can come in here and send this to so we can send an output to pure piano. And now in here, I can come and choose some notes. So we choose a scale. Let's go in and pick a scale. We'll do like let's do an E minor. Done. E minor. And you can just randomly put your notes in like this. So this will play some notes. We can change the gating. Easy peasy. Now, there's another function many of you may not know exists here in AUM. You can also hold down on these and you can select. If you hit select, it selects it. And then if I double tap and create a new node and then hold down, I can copy here and it will copy the exact same thing. So that saves you trying to remake. If you want multiple instances of a Midi processor or anything, you just hold down, select, and then hold down in a new node and hit copy. And it will copy all the settings that you have in the one you copied into a new node. We're going to do this again. Hit select, create a new node, and paste, copy here. So now we've got 3 of these, all with the exact same thing. And I'm going to send this all to different sections. So now all 3 of these are going, so this one's going to piano, this one's going to solder box, and this one's going to FM zone. If I play them all together, let's choose a different sound. We'll choose like a pluck. Let's just choose a different sound in here, an instrument. There we go. So they're all doing the same thing. And you're kind of thinking, why are you doing that? Why are you just duplicating 3 of them? Well, this is what they've added in here, which is just a game changer, man. So when you open up one of these Midi processors now, and you've got this option here, this is where you can go in and fully change up a whole bunch of stuff. This is where you can add like LFOs and all this kind of stuff. This is where you're getting into the meat of all the settings of each app. So you can see here the gates, the gate randomization, and you can add MIDI controls and all this kind of stuff. Well, now if you press this little cog, it opens up this, and this is the clock ratio and the clock factor. So for the first one here, we're going to leave this piano doing what it's doing. So for this second one here, we're going to come in, click on this, click on the cog, and we're going to change the clock ratio to ×2. So now when I bring in the next one, it's taken the same thing and changed the speed. Let's bring in the last one and we'll halve. So we've taken now one set and we haven't altered any of these notes. They're all the same notes, but we're getting 3 different rhythms by changing the clock speeds individually. And you can see what's happened here. If I zoom in, the little divider has been added up here, letting you know that this now has a division attached to it, right? So if we come in here again, let's divide these further. Let's come into solder box. Whoops, get out of there. Let's come into this second one. Click up here, the cog wheel. Let's change the divider to 4 and see what happens. Let's go into this one and alter the division to 2. And we'll change this one back up to 1. So you can go pretty wild with this. Let's go into the piano and change the division again. You can slow it right down, yeah? Here's the other thing that's really cool. You can come in here and change the clock factor. Now, this ain't always going to get good results. You're going to have to get a bit mathematical here. But you can turn this down and get some real Euclidean kind of effects going on. Maybe. Let's start. Let's go into this piano. So we can stagger this piano and we can drag this out and really get some odd timings. Let's stop that. This one you're going to need to mess around a bit with. For this particular one here. It's going to be a little bit mathematical to get some, but you can get some really crazy stuff going on with that indeed. So look, those divisional things are just great, yeah? So cool to have the divisional stuff there. A lot of apps have this built in, you know, to change the divisions of individual apps, but to have it built into AUM is just super nice. And yes, I will be covering this. I think the video goes up later today, Ed B Metal. For solder box, it's just take, you know, it's not a super easy. It's a semi-modular synth. So I've spent a lot of time trying to understand it and be able to deliver a good demo of it. Here's the thing, you know, I could have tried to race to be first and have it out and go, look, here's the new thing. Sure, I've had it for a bit over a week and a half or whatever, but I want to make sure when I show you how to use it, I show you how to use it. And I understand it as well. There's no point me sitting here telling you about something and I've got no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. So hopefully this will come up in the next 20 hours or whatever it is. I don't know. When it drops, whenever it drops for you guys, which is midnight for me normally. So there is that. Look, some wonderful updates for AUM. They're not overcomplicated, just some beautiful stuff to make life a lot easier. Little things, there's a whole bunch of fixes as well, like, you know, what else do we have here with fixes? We'll cover this quickly and then I'll get out of your hair for today and bounce you over to Pete. So you got hour, minute, seconds instead of hour, minute, seconds. Okay, initial silence gaps when recording, just a whole bunch of fixes, record button flashing, all this kind of stuff. What do we got here? Don't show Ableton link notifications if you don't want them. There's an update to the user guide, various minor tweaks and stuff. Added MMC pause command support, change tap to tempo with a shortcut, tap AUM background to bring keyboard focus to AUM. Long press, we covered all that. Nearly everything I covered in here as well too. And Apple's AUV3 is in there as well, the clock multiplier and dividing, the new navigator, having full screen. Nice. It's a nice update. It's not complicated. You're not going to get lost with it. And they're just really nice life-affirming features. What am I fucking talking about? Who knows? I don't know. Tomorrow, what's coming up tomorrow? Let me tell you what I'm doing tomorrow. We're going to take a look at the new Cineplex from Cinematic Alpha. It's delicious. It's really, really nice. Also, I got a hold of another new pack, which is free. I'll try and drop a video for that as well. Let's just quickly open up Cine, if it's going to work. We're all good? Yes, we're working today. So, yeah, this is a new one I downloaded for free. This is called Magic Forest. Magic Forest. And just make sure my key step is attached. And probably going to have to do this. So, yeah, it's only one pack that's in this Magic Forest one, but it's free, or you can pay whatever you want. Nice. But tomorrow we're looking at Cineplex, and what makes Cineplex different than everything else is these arpeggios. Are you ready? Listen to these beauties. Give you a quick sample before tomorrow. Just wicked. And for those of you who are on the Patreon, we got this week, it's worthwhile becoming a Patreon for $5 a month if you want to win apps. We got 10 of these to give away this week. Boom! This thing is beautiful. Oh, man. I can't get enough of this thing. So that's happening tomorrow live here on the channel. And, yeah, what else? We've got Chemol K's brand new app, which will be covered as a pre-record. And I can announce it now. This week, before we get out of here, happening this week, the Odd Couple rant is back. Me and Pete Johns, we're going to be talking about resolutions. See you over at GarageBand. There he is, Pete Johns, GarageBand Weekly in 1 minute's time. I'm going to dump you over there. Thank you all for hanging out today. I hope to see you over at Frank's channel today, Frank Terzo, and come and give some support to Justine and Kurt. All right, AUM, great job, Jonathan. Let's get out of here for today. Remember, folks, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better. We'll all rise together, stay awake, and you know what I'm going to say. Let's O-O-O-O-O-O-O.